Hey, what's good, everybody? It's been a while since I've talked, but hey, unit review because this seems like a good week right before version 6.0, and I haven't done this in quite a while, and we got a lot of units to do it for, so let's get started here. So, more recently, we have the Golden Wall Drone. Gold Wall Drone, I think, is a very good unit. Very fast production, hits oddly very hard with a multi-hitting laser, so quickly builds up damage. It's pretty good at stunning if you go off of just the long range. The special is a pretty good damage ram attack with iframe, so it doesn't get hurt. I personally like this thing. I think at 85 AP, it's pretty fast as well. I think it's a very good anti-space drone unit, due to the fact that the laser forces it to either evade or to gamble on the evasion and get stunned to die, or to special, in which case Golden Wall Drone can special right back at it and kill it during that. I like this thing. I hope to see this thing more in the future. I would get this thing plat. Thankfully, it's very usable and cheap to do so for United Front, even though those kind of suck. But yeah, Golden Wall Drone, I like it. Shit. Get back there. Right. Golden Quadro. Golden Quadro is a solid silencer. This thing, you're mostly just going to want to use the long range until you either want to close the distance with the special, which in case it acts like the old Quadro where the whips hit the base and that's it. But this thing is a better silencer than it due to the fact that the fireballs can linger around more. Damage is pretty alright. Explosive and the kinetic little baby kicks. It has evasion, so that's pretty good. Overall, it's not a bad boss. It's got 4 million health with PM buffs. It pushes it up to nearly 6 million. It's got evasion, so it can evade for a little bit. Version 6.0 nerfs the status will definitely help it out, as it's not exactly the smallest target, so as a big target, that means it gets more multi-hits on it since it's so fat. So version 6.0 comes out, it will definitely help keep it alive longer, but on that same note, it's gonna shorten its silencing potential. It's a great boss. If you don't have the sorties to go for it, don't feel bad. There is still Elephant, and Screamer out there as bosses. Screamer, I didn't have space for, but I think Screamer will be better in version 6. But yeah, Golden Quadro, I think, is a good boss. If you don't have the sorties to plat this thing, don't feel bad. United Front sucks ass. No one actually likes grinding for it. But if you do happen to grind for it, at least try to aim for gold. Gold is fine, even if the resistances won't be up there. Then next up, we got Ribbot. I just call it Ribbot for short. This was the rare for the previous Expert Ops. It's a tap on deploy silencer. It just only has long range and fairly quick production. It's stupid fast. That's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of all there is to it. You just tap it when you want to do some quick burst damage or you want to try and silence. My only issues with this unit are that the silence is too quick. For the stuff that you'd want to silence, it's probably going to be in the far back distance. And to get there, this thing might die on the way. It's not exactly the tankiest unit, as with PM buffs it pushes it up to about 1 million. But, I mean, it's definitely usable, but it just really falls off at the mid and late game, especially now that I'm noticing a resurgence of Elysion for a unit that I'll get to soon. So that definitely puts Ribbot's life in danger. But yeah, it's a fine unit. I wouldn't call it a staple, but it's good. It's a good tech if you have a strategy in mind for it. Let's see. And then we got Rockmole 2. This one acts as a bit of a more ranged original Rockmole, in which case it kind of prefers to sit behind the front line and either swipe at it with a pretty chunky long range, does 22 per hit, or you want to do it with the special, which is a big, where it picks up a big rock and rock shards go flying, in which case, and that does varied damage depending on how many little chunks hit. It's an okay boss. I kind of don't care much for it, mostly due to the fact that it doesn't provide utility, and I don't know, PM's space is pretty crowded nowadays. It's competing with 3 other bosses at least, and you know, this one's just a damage dealer with some walling protection. As of right now, it's not too hot. I think when version 6.0 comes out, where, you know, the pressure from, oh god, Aqua HMT just is right there, Rockmole 2's tanking's not going to help me at all. I think once that happens, this thing will definitely be more usable. But, you know, there's literally 100 plus units being adjusted in a week from now, so it's okay. I wouldn't recommend it. But, I mean, if you're starting off or you need some fillers, you could do much worse. And then from the previous time, Special Anastasia 1. This one's interesting because, first let's look at her picture. Man, look at those. Man, her tits are so fucking big. Jesus. Yeah, so this one's interesting because she has stealth when she spawns in, and she does a 20k per ticks like stab from her original form, which is great and all, but the problem is you need a unit in the front with her, otherwise she will constantly keep moving, teleporting to where the unit is, and if they don't stop, she doesn't stop teleporting. She doesn't take any time to pause, so you can't use her on her own. She definitely needs other units with her, and she's also very expensive for a rare. It's kind of annoying. Her health's also not that high, so it's like, man, 340 for 700k HP in this day and age. All it takes is one smack and she dies. Buenos dias, Mandy, and she's gone. She does good damage if you can lock down an opponent. So after her stealth ends, she goes into a normal form where she can get hurt, and that's when she can use her special. Special is pretty alright. Does almost 100k fire, but she's not bad. But you definitely would want her plat or gold, just mainly for the cost, because god is she expensive. Could do much worse as a rare. No space for her currently. Then we got Zahara. I like Zahara, even even if she wasn't just a double attack buff unit. One, she's got drill hair, and everybody knows drill hair is top tier, so first let's get that out of the way. But 2 is that she is a dedicated long-range attacker, and she has a very good long range. It's a multi-hitting fireball. Can quickly burn down a Maya drill. It can quickly just add additional DPS. It's very long ranged. It goes a little bit further than what the initial distance here goes, because the fireball explodes at the top and then it rains out. So it's like kind of like 750-ish. Her special is probably the money shot here. She makes a little orb and sends it across the full map. Can't be deleted, can't be stopped, can't be absorbed, only has to be tanked. Can't hurt base, so, you know, that's whatever. Because the main point of that here is that it erases projectiles on the way. That's always hype. And, you know, it hits the backline, which is something that PM has always had a giant issue with. It just can't hit those sometimes very fragile units, because everything got pushed in the front and PM just kept getting frontliner. So it's very nice getting a dedicated long range unit. Probably the only thing that's kind of mixed about her is her evasion. Her evasion forces her to make into a kinda long distance back evasion, where she just keeps scooting backwards, which if certain attacks will just keep pushing her back, like Chateau 3 or Pivu, Pile Impact for so you know, those kinds of units just kind of bop her because she just can't get back in place. Silence also bops her. Stun. She's very fragile with this tiny HP. At this moment. In version 6, she'll also lose a hard counter of Shizuka, who can just prey on Zahara by waiting for Zahara to hit her with special, then throw a shuriken back at her, and if there's other stuff pushing her back already, Shizuka will hit the base. Whoops. So, you know, she'll be way more usable in 6 as, you know, as a unit without a super hard counter. Either way, right now, I think she's a very good unit. She's just more on the support than, you know, than you would want as an attacker at the moment, because, again, these counters and status just really fucks her over. Her getting silenced and stunned non-stop is just, it's pain. She's a great unit. Go for her next time she comes back if you're PM. 2 attack buff, always nice. Then we got some buffed units. We got Veronica. Veronica was buffed in the last update to these crazy funny numbers. 17 million HP, long distance that does 1.3 million per tick. It's explosive and kinetic. That's something worth noticing, that this game never really does a good job of telling you which type of attributes attacks are, but her long range is explosive kinetic. You can try it out in lab if you'd like. Try to shoot a walker, you'll see that, hey, it does the full damage. Cool. And the special is a 300k per tick poison bomb. Many hits, really drains that HP super fast. I like Veronica. Like, come on, look at this illustration. How are you gonna tell me this illustration ain't cool as fuck? I like Veronica. She's a good backup support to your front line, whether it be Kara, a Chateau, Tolmeos, Golden Drill, or not Golden Drill, I'm sorry, Golden Drone, doing his special, like, you name it. She's a very good support. However, she is a very not good frontliner, and that's probably the only issue, which has always been her design. It's just her special brings her to the front, and depending on how far a unit is from her, maybe she'll literally rush into the front line and drop bomb, or she'll stop in front of it and drop the bomb, and that's probably the most ideal spot. There really isn't too much to Veronica. You just want to learn your opponent's enemies' timings, and you can get some success out of her easily. You know, try to time Clark after ending his special. Try to time her during a Chateau after they land from the special. Yeah, she's a great damage dealer. She just has some trouble with stuff directly in her face. So, you know, you kind of don't want to leave her alone. But she's an amazing unit. If you have the purple items, I suggest buffing her. If you don't, there's literally an update in a week, so don't feel bad. And then we got the Ace, a Chateau. She's cute. But no, yeah, her main strength here is that she got buffed into wacky funny numbers, which, you know, despite her being given wacky funny numbers, I think honestly she is not cancerous, due to she has literally no range on her attacks. Like, unless the unit is right next to her, she can't hit them. So, you know, right now the meta is filled with ranged attacks, ranged statuses, and just throwing out fake walls, and a lot of that will get relieved in version 6. But for now, I think that she is just very, very good. She's just, you know, she's also anti-knockback, which isn't very common, since right now there are no dedicated knockback units. Just attacks with high resist drain, like Avatar of Evil Scythe, Maya Drill, Clark, for example, so she'll spin against those easily. A Chateau should definitely get buffed if you have her. She's a very strong unit, 13 billion health, 600k, not 600k, 800k short range, and a special that does 1.5 million per tick. It's very, very scary if it hits you and you're stunned. She's only going to get stronger in version 6 plus when barriers are nerfed and statuses won't wreck her as hard, because right now that's the best way to beat her. You just kind of stun her and wear her down. Great Snail is a good option. Pivu's is a great option. Elysion's a great option, because even with max resistances, she ain't going very far if she gets hit with status, and that's kind of her flaw. You just silence or stun her, and then all she can do is do a very slow chop. So a Chateau, if you have her, please buff the shit out of her. Use her. She's an amazing frontliner. You can't push her back, so that's probably her best trait. She hits dummy hard, and her long range is actually really good too. Helps when she detects a unit in range, she starts spinning towards them with the axe, and it does 600k, almost 700k per tick. It's pretty good. It's not not the best, not the fastest, but it gets the job done. And then we got who are you? B-Cham. Oh boy. B-Cham. B-Cham was buffed only to then be suggested to not use because she will just trigger a Chateau. Honestly, she kind of got fucked over with the numbers here. I don't know, man. I don't know who decided to be like, B-Cham should get buffed. Okay, should she hit really strong? No, she should hit just kind of light. Because, yeah, her attacks are multi-hit, but multi-hit 67k and multi-hit 125k, When we're dealing with numbers now in double-digit millions, these are tickles to them, especially in now that all she'll do is trigger a Chateau that keeps spinning, while she has 12 million HP, sure, but it's not really providing you much when she costs 408 AP at max, and she lets your opponent's units just keep spinning. So it's not the best. Definitely do not suggest using B-Cham. She was good on release when she had to deal with the golden ball slug, and that really fucked her, or the regular ball slug, and that fucked her over hard. And she's not good now, where hilariously a Chateau fucks her over. So don't use B-Cham. I wouldn't suggest it. Her status will literally cause you more problems than assist you. And then we got Melvina. So this one got updated. So she got updated a bit ago, and she's confirmed to get a bigger buff within the next update. And I think she gets a couple million HP, very good. Her long range is ass, it's uncancelable, and her special will end up doing, I think, 100k per tick. And I couldn't tell you how many hits she does during her special, but I know it's definitely more than 20, I think. So she hits very hard. And she gains a weird little bubble shield that's not a true shield, since it only absorbs a portion of HP before it goes away. I don't know, her illustration's pretty... it's pretty whatever. So in version 6, I feel like recovery is going to be a strong option, especially since a lot of things are getting hit. Fake wall statuses, base pokes, and I think that's where Melvina will finally begin to shine, because she can be hilariously tanky with that shield, and if you put her with recovery along with her own regeneration, she will just keep churning out these giant hits back to back, especially with her regeneration. So I think that Melvina is a unit to watch out for in the future. Could be could be a threat. I don't know. Version 6, literally a week from now. We don't even know what PM's getting next week or in the next update since they're due for one. But I think Melvina, if you get her plat or gold even, you know, wait a week. Let's see what she gets before we consider updating her or forgetting her, since purple items are dumb expensive. Let's see. Anybody else that I forgot? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, cool. Alright. I guess the last thing I'll talk about is Avatar of Evil. So version 6.0, Avatar of Evil, they say the fake walls are getting nerfed. That includes his scythe. Some people are nervous about that. I think it's actually for the best. What his fake wall does is, yeah, that's cool that, you know, it keeps the units stuck in place for a bit. But you really miss out on this big dick damage. Like, it does kinetic fire, and you know it's 444 per tick, and he drags it a long distance. So, you know, with the fake wall removed, he gets a good damage buff, since units will now walk with the scythe as he drags it forward, potentially getting way more hits than he would if they just got stuck at the front. So I don't think he'll be bad. Come that update, I think it'll be fine. And yeah, that wraps it up. Bit on the rush side, but doing this kind of late. But other than that, well, version 6.0, I'll do a last video of the version next week, and gonna try and make something fancy for it. Other than that, that's all I got. Power through the United Front. Shit sucks, but get these golden boys. They're pretty good. And with that, I'll catch you later. Laters.